All right, welcome back to the KrisCross Corner Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Getty, and we have Walter Wheatens on the show today. How you doing, Walter?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. It's been a week. I am writing on Thanksgiving leftovers.
Yes, it is. It is the day after Thanksgiving. It is Black Friday. Um, we ate everything at our house, so I have no leftovers to eat. So I was stuck eating lunch that I had to prepare today, um, from scratch. And I'm hungry right now, so I'll probably order DoorDash later.
You mean you're gonna order DoorDash and then pause the podcast for 10 minutes to pick it, to go get it and come back?
No, this isn't quarantine anymore. I'll do it afterwards. One time I started a podcast, like a 4-hour podcast. I put the order in at like 7, and then they still didn't get it to my house. It was like 5 minutes down the road. They still didn't get my food until I think it was like almost midnight. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But this was during quarantine when they were doing it everywhere. So
Yeah, you remember Got Burger like in Nipsey?
yeah, is it still open?
Yeah, but I ordered from this is when I was still working at on like working for Eastern, right? And I was like, oh man, I really want Got Burger, so I ordered Got Burger. This was like 12:30, and I had it until like 2 o'clock before I had to go to class. And it's like 1:45, and I called them. I was like, "Y'all, are y'all bringing my food or not?"
Mm-hmm. Like, is y'all open?
I called you to place the order. I know somebody's there.
I had it one day. I had when you put something in on DoorDash, and then the dasher goes to the place, and it's like, oh, it's closed. It's open on DoorDash. You better go in there and get it.
Please do me a favor and tell me that I'm actually correct. Go get my
Right.
food. Thank you.
I know it's open. I'm looking on Google. I'm looking on Yahoo. I'm looking on DoorDash. It is open, which means your ass can't pull the door open. All right. So today we're going to be talking about a lot of Black Friday stuff, Thanksgiving festivities, stuff that happened last week, or yesterday. Yes, I'm talking about that Lions game. I had the privilege. To being in the stadium, club seats, section 208, row 3, seat 14, and witnessed the great Lions of 3 games make a horrible coaching mistake, 2 horrible coaching mistakes in the last 10 seconds. And that cost us the game. Now, for people watching at home who really didn't really hear the crowd that day, the crowd was about 50-50, more like 60-40 Buffalo. But
it's a lot of booing for the end of the halftime show, but yeah, it was pretty split down the middle for what I saw on TV.
Yeah. And if anyone hears any squealing noises or whining noises, that's my daughter in the background. She's starting to stand up, and apparently standing for too long hurts. So,
I mean, I'm 26 and standing for too long hurts.
yeah, but she only stood up for like 3 minutes.
She even say she's had those muscles all of what, 8 months?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
More like a month. But yeah, that game was a good loss. I would say it wasn't a blowout. It wasn't a loss that I'd be like, we sucked that game. It was a good game.
No, we fought. We had to fight, and I remember we after we botched that field goal. I was like, man, how do you miss a field goal? How do you miss a 30-yarder in a stadium with no wind? And
no
then
wind.
Straight up missed the PA like the PAT. And I was like, how do you miss a 1-yarder in a stadium with no wind?
Buffalo missed it, and we missed it. I was like, wow. And then I thought they were going to miss the game winner because I was like, yeah, that's the one we missed on.
Yeah, no,
they didn't miss.
No, it was. I mean, it was a good game overall. We definitely could have played better. Our defense saved our ass a lot more than our offense.
True.
Which is, I think, going to be a thing for a little bit. Because I know it was like 3 times and like back to back the defense stepped out on the field and just completely obliterated Josh Allen.
Yeah,
which is fine with me. But yeah, no, we got to start playing smarter. And Dan Campbell's a really good coach. He's very well respected in the NFL overall. I think him being in Detroit is really good for us. It's just going to take another year or two before we can actually start putting some steam behind our team.
Yeah, so some steam behind our team. That's a good podcast name. Steam behind the team.
I got nothing to say to you.
Anyway, speaking of steaming, I was in line for like 45 minutes at Old Navy today. Yes, it's Black Friday. I understand, but the Old Navy like structure is not built for Black Friday. You only have 4 registers and 2 people working them. That's just horrible. It's really horrible. And I had to sit in line for 45 minutes as people went on break. Yes.
No, I had to work today, man. I did not have the time to go shopping today, which makes me sad because it is Black Friday. But no, I have some people that work at Walmart, and one of the people I know that worked at Walmart were like, "Yeah, no, it actually wasn't that bad today." And I was like, "How? How is that even possible? It's Black Friday and Walmart. Literally every single meme is of Walmart like self-imploding on Black Friday."
Self-imploding?
Yeah, it's just like, oh man, but yeah, it's gonna be weird, right? Like, because in the future, when we get more into online shopping, I'm very curious to see how this is going to go. Very curious to see what's next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had to get a bottle. She was whining too much. But yeah, Walmart, Target. I saw Target's parking lot. That was ridiculous. I went to the one on the hill and the one in Southfield, and I was like, "Yo."
Oh wait, the one. So that's you said the one here, the one on the hill. Oh, in Dearborn.
Yeah, no, Allen Park did one. Yeah,
Allen Park, Dearborn. Yeah, over there by the new product development center for Ford. I used to work over there. I used to work at Ford for that. Yeah, and then the one in Southfield, is that the one on
Southfield and 12?
Yeah,
between 12 and 13. Yeah, it was all the way to the back. I was like, "Yo."
Okay, but you gotta.
I'm just gonna have to go tomorrow.
So I made the realization, like, we are in that weird point where it's like 25 to like 37. I know that's very specific, but like that 12-year span is just all Target.
Mm-hmm.
I turned 25 and started loving Target a lot more.
Why?
I don't know. Something in the air.
I'm not a fan of Target. I don't know.
No, like I go to Target. I gotta admit, I go to Target more than I go to IKEA, and IKEA is closer than Target.
What's the closest Target to you on Fort Road?
Yeah, and then the second one would be on Michigan.
The one by BJ's.
Yeah, no.
Which I didn't know that BJ's was existed until I drove past it.
Wait, on Ford?
Mm-hmm.
There's a BJ's on Ford.
Yeah.
Well, that changes the game.
Yeah, it changes the game. There's a Sam's Club. I don't think they have a Costco out there. They do have a Sam's Club and a BJ's.
Oh yeah. Because they just opened the BJ's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Over there by Lowe's. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, no. Oh man, that changes the game.
I forget that Lowe's is over there too. That Lowe's is like tucked in.
It is.
It's like, yeah, let's go past these trees. Oh, there's a Lowe's. There's a hardware store here.
That's like I went to Arby's because there's an Arby's right there. I went there like 9:00 one night, and I was like, "There's no way Arby's is open." And Arby's surprised me. I was like, "What?"
Arby's? They usually are open like late.
No, it's really because all the Arby's around were like I grew up in, especially around like Easter for some reason, they would close at like 6, 7 p.m. sometimes. 8 at like the latest.
7?
Or maybe that was during the pandemic.
Jeez, 6 or 7.
Actually, I know. I like that
That's
was
when they want a roast
when
beef sandwich.
no, during the pandemic they straight up, or I guess during lockdown they straight up will close at like 6, 7 o'clock, and I'd be like, oh, that's sad. But yeah, I went there like 9 o'clock one day and they were open, and I was really surprised. It didn't make any sense at all.
I got a coupon to get a Sam's Club membership for like $50 off.
So it's free.
That's what I said. I was like, how much is the Sam's Club membership? I thought it was like
$50.
I thought it was like $50 or $60. Or I think it's or a plus membership. I don't know. I'll go and figure it out.
I don't know. I got Costco.
I got both. I have a Costco now, but they gave me this coupon. And Sam's Club is closer to me.
Can't Costco. Can't argue that one.
I would have to go to the Costco in Livonia off 7 Mile and 275, which is too far.
Too far.
I mean, when I want to, be home right after I shop, it's kind of far.
Yeah. I mean, because Southfield is really weird because there's not too much. Like, especially because I know where you are, and there's not. It's kind of a dead zone when it comes to those bigger stores.
Unless you go to Meijer, but Meijer's right there. But Meijer's doesn't have everything.
They got a lot though.
They do, but I don't shop at this Meijer right here.
Okay, that makes sense.
The last time I really shopped at Meijer, that was probably before middle school, and that's saying a lot.
Right after they opened?
Exactly. That was when the Meijer opened, the Lowe's opened, the DSW opened. I remember going into the DSW more than I remember going into the Meijer.
Nah, man.
That's how bad it is.
No, you remember when were you in the area when they when that was actually had like an indoor mall part to it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because on one end where Best Buy is used to be Media Play, and then it was Circuit City. You remember Circuit City?
Yeah, I remember both stores.
You remember both of those? Yeah, but you could actually go in. It had like this little because it was a weird hybrid between a strip mall and an actual mall. And it had that, Old Country Buffet, Pier 1 Imports, all those stores, and then they all kind of left.
Yeah, they all kind of closed,
Yeah, it was like, oh, Old Country Buffet, because one of those, there's still one around here somewhere.
Yeah, it's called Old Country Buffet. Old.
It's called Cracker Barrel without the wait staff.
It wouldn't be called Cracker Barrel anymore if it's in Southfield. We call it something else, but I can't say it on the show.
No, you can't.
But the thing is, okay, so they closed the AMC at Fairlane earlier this week.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, so it gave me some nostalgia of the since we're talking about Southfield, the AMC Star was it 12 Mile Cass Road.
Oh man, the AMC Star.
So they did what's it called? A Urban Explorer video on YouTube. I didn't know there was a comedy club in that bitch.
Yeah, okay. So okay. So that was the weird thing, because when I was younger, right? Because they had I remember when I was like 4 or 5 is when they opened up. And I was a little older because it was right when the Pistons were still kind of, or when they started doing good. So they opened up that sports bar. But yeah, there was a comedy club in there. There was a coffee place. And oh, look at the baby.
Mm-hmm.
There was a coffee place in there.
Say hi.
Oh.
Say hi. Don't touch the bike. Don't touch the bike. You get a whooping on the podcast. You're gonna get a whooping on the podcast.
My God.
When my camera goes out, you know what happened.
Yeah. Oh man. But no, I remember that. There was a Japanese place in there too. But what most people didn't know about was that there were two arcades in the Star, right? Because you had the one that was in the Yeah, exactly.
What?
You had the like the mini arcade that was behind the concession stand, way in the back
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
on the other side. But over up in the front, you know where that you remember like that milkshake place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was between that and the coffee shop. I think it ended up being what became the comedy joint. But that was an actual arcade when I was younger. Like an actual like gave you tickets, you could go cash them in.
Man. I think it was a Tubby's. Remember the Tubby's that was in there?
Yeah,
That's when you knew it went downhill when the Tubby's came.
Because it was Okay, and on the other side it was Tubby's. There was a whole big boy in there.
There was a big boy in there.
Ass big boy. I think, and what really sucks about it is people slept on the AMC Star or AMC Southfield because it was an AMC and it kind of just. But AMC Southfield because it had valet service
And the clientele.
Clientele. It
was definitely a clientele.
Yeah, it was. But I was telling the girls, right? I was like, look, man, y'all got to understand, like the AMC Star was like a luxury movie theater when I was a kid, right? Because
even when it closed, like they had like the sparkly crowns and stuff.
The ceiling had all the constellations, but they had like it was for being like a really cheesy kind of movie theater. I loved the AMC Star. I started hating to go there just because of like too many hooligans.
Yeah.
But I was like, as a kid, that was the movie theater. I loved it, man. That was awesome. And then
that was it. I think Imagine did kill it. They kind of like oversaturated it, and then
Imagine killed it. But what really did them dirty was the Palladium.
The Palladium, and then they had like so many theaters in there, and then the numbers started dwindling because people started watching movies like online.
That too, but again, like because the Palladium came in, and I'm not gonna lie, when we sat there and started asking, all right, do we want to go to the movie theater, or do we want to go to the movie theater that's in the air, kind of a thing, right? Because like Palladium was off the ground, like, you had to go up there for some reason. Just the fact you had to go up the escalator, and it was in like the middle of a neighbor, or like in the middle of downtown Birmingham, really kind of. Mm-hmm. Granted, it's Birmingham, but it also kind of just propelled it a little bit. So we were like, yeah, we'll go there. And I think everybody kind of followed suit. And then Imagine opened up and everybody said, all right, we'll go over to Novi.
Two Imagines, because you had the Riviera on 9 Mile.
Right. And then what is it? Imagine Royal Oak opened up, and I think that's what really put the nail in because they had the bowling alley.
Yeah, and the one that had what's it called? What's the one in Livonia? Phoenix. The Phoenix Theater opened at Lower Place.
You remember
it took a lot of clientele away.
I was like, speaking of the old days, you remember Livonia Mall?
Yes, I do.
Like, I was trying to explain.
I tell Alyssa that this used to be a mall.
Yeah.
Like a legit mall.
That's the conversation. I had that same conversation. I was like, you got to understand, when I was a kid, there was Northland, Eastland, Westland, Southland, 12 Oaks, Somerset, Briarwood.
Lakeside,
Partridge Creek.
Downtown Detroit.
and Livonia Mall, like and Laurel Park Place.
Laurel Place, yeah.
We're talking like Oakland. So we're talking like 15 malls in a legitimate like 25 mile span. Like
y'all don't know. These kids don't know.
Nah. Especially when it comes to like going to Jeepers at Northland.
Not the Jeepers at Northland. I remember the Jeepers at Wonderland.
Ooh,
that was the one. That was one where you became a man.
Hey, I still remember when the kid got it. Like the kid, like I don't know if you remember this or not, but Jeepers wasn't in the news back in the day because they were like, hey, so a kid got caught up under one of the roller coasters.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at damn. They really said it like that?
No. They were like tragedy strikes. Kid gets decapitated at Jeepers, and I was like, bro, me as a kid, I'm like, what's decapitation?
Don't worry about it. Go in the ball pit. Go in the ball pit. That ball pit was germy. When I look back on it.
I'm not like I don't always agree with the steps that a lot of parents are taking to like kind of like super uber protect their children, but I think us as a society needs to get rid of a ball pit.
There we do.
It's time to go.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's time to go.
It's time for the ball pit to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that ball pit. The Sky Tube? That's a germ. Like
Yep.
Germ and airborne.
Yep.
That's horrible.
That's like when somebody goes, "Oh, do you like hot tubs?" I'm like, "No."
It was only for me.
It's like I don't think you understand how dirty a hot tub actually is. Like, as somebody who used to work in recreation, I can tell you there was no such thing as a clean hot tub.
There is it. Clean hot tubs. We used to have malls everywhere. More than I think about it, like Livonia Mall, Livonia had 3 malls to themselves.
What's the third one? Because they had
Lower Place, Livonia, and
Park.
Wonderland.
Oh, Wonderland, yeah.
Like Lower Place was like the uppity one because they had like Von Mar and
So that was the really weird distinction. Like back in the day, your mall was upper class if it had one of two things. It either needed to have like a Saks and a Neiman Marcus, like Somerset did, or it had to have a Von Mar, and those were two very different types of uppity.
Mm-hmm.
Like my parents or my mom shopped at Von Mar. She didn't go to Saks. Like that. There are two very different types of uppity. Even to this day, like I remember I took Emily to Von Mar and I was like, just do me a favor. She goes, well, I'm like, go to the restroom. And she came back and she was like, I've never seen a lounge in a bathroom before.
I came out with a mint. A mint and a wet towel. I was like, that was an experience in the bathroom.
Like somebody named Preston handed me a towel and said, "Have a nice day, sir." Like, but yeah, no, oh man, I remember that, and because everybody like Detroit. Thinking about it, I don't think Detroit really had any malls inside of the city. In the city limits,
back, no,
they didn't. Because everybody thinks like Northland wasn't in Detroit; it was still in Southfield.
It was in Southfield, but it was definitely Detroit's mall.
Oh, it was Detroit's mall, but it was in Southfield.
It was like the Detroit mall, but then you had like the close second, which was Eastland.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a far second. I don't want to say it's a close second. It was a far second from Northland because Northland was the all be all back in from the 50s to the 80s.
Well, because Northland was the first mall, really.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of really weird and really cool to think about. Like Detroit has a lot of really innovative. They're known for a lot of firsts just on the backhand. Like the first indoor mall was Northland Mall. Like that's wild to me. It sucks that it closed. Yeah. But like I get why they did it. Because when they closed it, there wasn't anything out there. Because Macy's cut. Malls need to understand.
Macy's cut power, bro. Macy's cut power to their escalators. That's how bad it was. There was like, ain't nobody going upstairs. Let's put everything right here.
No, I think honestly, it started going downhill when Marshall Fields went out of business.
Don't say that. Say that name. That brought up back a whole bunch of nostalgia. Marshall Fields
with the green box with the white
lines and Hudson's.
Dude, we have a Marshall Fields box in here, like in my house, like in my apartment. In my apartment, where me at 26 is the oldest person, has a Marshall Fields box somewhere in here, and none of us have any idea where it came from. Like, and then like Hudson's was a little, because I think they actually didn't they rip Hudson's down in like 95?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Either the 90s or the 80s, one of those decades.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was in the 90s.
And now they're putting it back together. It's going to be built by next year.
Well, no, that's the thing. But I like that. I like the idea that they're bringing Hudson's back in a way. Like the Hudson site seems really cool, and the fact that it's like a business. It's like an innovative arts and management kind of like shop inside. It's a mall, but it's a different kind of mall, and I really like that.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it. It's supposed to have like the same exact design as the original as far as layout goes. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's like modernized, which is really cool. So I'm really excited for that. It's in the same spot as Hudson's was. It's about to be a good time. The question is, can we as a city, can we as a city keep it nice? Right? We've done fairly well keeping like the smaller things nice. Like a lot of the more boutique-y, really higher end stores downtown have managed to stay nice, but they're on Woodward. But my question is, can we as a city be better? Like, can we continue this like upward trend of being better
Just in the city or like all around?
in the city, but also around?
Okay. So you're talking about like a mile outside the city where it's like desolate. Or I mean, I won't say the city. I would say a mile from downtown. Like like literally across from Ford Field, you have the old Brewster project site, which still hasn't been built yet.
Yeah.
So like that.
No, I think that we as a city of we as Detroit have come a long way. We have a lot to do and a lot more to go, but we have made tremendous strides. I think a lot more than anybody thought we would ever make.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can do it. I think we can make like a full massive comeback. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take some more gentrification to get there. But once we get there, I think we can start to intermingle again in a way that makes us really kind of progress. I honestly think Detroit might be one of the pioneers for the future if we can hold our shit together.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Speaking of getting our shit together, it's the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. Is it officially Christmas season?
Yes.
Yes, it is. I believe so. This weekend, I'm about to crank up the 100.3 WNIC and then smile out the window and actually feel glad and happy while listening to Christmas music.
I have had 100.3 WNIC on in my house, in my car, in my ear for the past 2 weeks.
Oh,
you got to understand, like, the holidays were always a really good time for me, especially growing up. And now that like life kind of sucks because I'm an adult with responsibilities and stuff, of course. But also, it's just some good music, like.
It is.
And oh man, sorry, I got distracted for a second. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I love the holiday season, but I described it the other day as, look, if people start singing "This Is Halloween" September 1st, I'm gonna start singing "It's the Most Wonderful Time of Year" November 1st.
That's usually always the first song I hear for Christmas, no matter what station sings Christmas music. I just turn on the radio and it's the most one. I would be like, I don't like Christmas anymore.
I remember this font like in great detail. This was like 3-4 years ago, but WNIC kicked off the holiday season with Santa Claus is coming, or with Santa Claus is coming to town by the Jackson 5, and I was like, this is about to be the best goddamn holiday I've ever had.
I remember when they left it to the voters or the listeners. Like, you want to hear Christmas music now? We want to hear Christmas music close to Thanksgiving. These voters said, let's listen to it on October 28th. They lost a listener that night. I just letting y'all know, because I was not listening to Christmas music when Thriller is supposed to be playing. Okay.
I will say, I think you can play it too early in repetition. Although I'm also one of the people that'll sit there and be like, I kind of just want to listen to "What Christmas Means to Me" by Stevie Wonder right now.
That's all. That's all.
But what I'm saying is, like, it could also be in like the middle of July, right? But that's just me. I'm not saying like what I'm saying is I'm not going to sit there and play like the entire somebody's entire Christmas album, but I might pick a song out in the middle of the year and just be like, this is kind of what I'm feeling like listening to today.
Yeah, like when your iPod's on shuffle and a Christmas song just happens to come up, you're like, shoot. But I'll just listen. I'll just let it play. I'll let it play.
I have a hot take on the holiday season, and that is that Last Christmas itself isn't that great of a song, and I listen to The Bells by Luther Vandross, and Darlene Love is a much better version of Last Christmas.
Is that the song?
Which one? No, it's
Last Christmas.
No, was it Last Christmas? Is wait, what?
How does it go?
The one that's Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away.
Yeah, that's one. Last Christmas I gave you my heart. I like the George Michael version. I'm just saying.
No,
The
like
Wham version.
it's an alright song, but like I listen to the Bells by Luther. I think is a much better version of the same song. Like it's the same story in the song, more or less.
Yeah,
I just like that one better. I like Clarence.
Yeah, you tell him, KJ. Tell him no, that's wrong. I'm playing. It's two against one. I'm playing.
Let me have my hot take. I'm known for my hot takes on this show. All right, let me have them.
So we're gonna do a Great Debaters episode or a KrisCross Corner episode with the Great Debaters later this month or next month actually, because it's December, about who has the better Christmas album. Okay, is it the Jackson 5 Christmas or the Temptations Christmas?
You can't do that. That's not fair.
It's not fair, but it has to be told. It has to be talked about. Who has the better Christmas album?
I don't know.
It's gonna be hard.
I honestly don't know.
It's hard, isn't it? I think the Jacksons have, 6 well-known songs in theirs, and the Temptations have, I think their whole album is.
So I would break it down to, I guess it depends on if you like soul or pop more. Because even though they're both like, I would definitely say the Jackson 5 Christmas album is a soul album. The Temptations have a lot more soul in their in their Christmas album than the Jacksons do.
Yeah.
So I think it comes down to that. Like I can't say one is better, like definitively better than the other. They're both fantastic albums that are masterfully done. Granted, they're masterfully done by the same people, but they're masterfully done albums.
Right.
So like, I don't know.
They're very good albums.
So where's Elijah when you need him?
Oh, don't worry. That episode will come. Well, we have to. He's gonna be like 20-0, just like Usher and Chris Brown, which we're also going to talk about in another episode later on in December.
I don't know. His 6'4" man is a giant.
People don't realize like Elijah's small on the camera. When you meet him in person, he's like 6'4", big afro.
Yeah, he's like 6'4", 250. Like the dude's pretty built.
Yes.
Like I saw him and it took me a second to realize it was him. Like I saw his face and I was like, I know that face, but the face don't match the height.
You're like, hey, Elijah. Oh, Elijah.
Oh, it's you. Oh man.
Me and Keisha were watching Disney Plus.
Ooh.
We're watching the shorts. You know the Disney shorts that they have?
Yeah.
We watched the Jack Attack, Monsters, what's it? Mike's New Car.
Oh yeah.
The classics.
I like Jack Attack. Jack Attack is one of my, because that was one of the earlier shorts. And that is still to this day one of my favorite shorts. It's hilarious.
He said, I didn't want to wear a big BS. And you know why I couldn't go with that. Disney got away with so much stuff. And they cut and went back to the Men in Black guy. He's like, and you believed him. Carrie was dumb. But I just want to put that out here. Carrie was one dumb girl.
Just, I love oh man, that, good God, The Incredibles is
great.
Masterpiece. It really is a masterpiece.
You know how much money Disney had? They had enough money to make outtakes for a damn animated movie. That's like why are you flaunting your money around? This is the most like sorry not sorry moment for any animation studio ever. Like, yeah, we had some extra money, so we just
no, that actually is a very good point. Like I watched the gag reel for every Pixar movie, because like on YouTube you can like somebody supercut every single Pixar film gag reel, and that's a good point. Not only did they have money to make the movie, but they had money to make outtakes
that connects to the movie. Especially Marshall saying he was like, "Yeah, we're making a musical," and they actually did the musical in the end. I was like, "These guys need to stop with my emotions."
Toy Story 2 had was it Prospector Pete or whatnot?
Yeah,
he was talking to hey, so I can get you into the after part.
Hey. I remember that part. I gotta look at that again.
Woody,
I forgot about the whole part because usually like they had it on the DVD, but when you watch it on TV, they cut it out at the end.
Well, but you remember because they would also roll at the end of all the VHS tapes, so they usually roll during the credits.
You know how much a VCR is nowadays?
It's like $10.
Oh, it was not.
5?
It's a lot. It's a lot more than 5.
Really? They went back up?
They went up.
Oh, because they're retro now.
VCR, $280.
That's still cheaper than when they came out.
$249. Who's still selling VHS tapes?
All right, but at this point, it's
Media
more of
play.
A.
She's about to choke me. She thinks that I don't know. She's stupid. I seen that Bruce Lee movie.
No, Pixar did something really kind of different, which is why I think everybody loves Pixar, is because even the bad Pixar movies are good.
What do you classify as a bad Pixar movie?
Yeah. See? Like even like if there was a bad Pixar movie, it's still good. Disney was kind of in the same, like they after like the Disney Renaissance kind of kicked off their era of like pretty decent movies too. So The Little Mermaid through like probably the mid to late 2000s, just about every movie they had there was just an absolute banger. Like it was certified hit. Like
even Dinosaur.
Okay, maybe not
Dinosaur, Emperor's New Groove.
But that's the thing. Like my favorite Disney film is Emperor's New Groove. I'm not even gonna lie.
Classic.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's one of mine.
Hey, when did we watch Emperor's New Groove? Was it like 2-3 weeks ago? Yeah, like we watched like 3 weeks ago, and it's still one of my favorite films. It's hilarious.
Llama face. David Spade was in
What's
his
he doing?
that movie.
He's doing his own theme music. He's up against the wall with
That has to be one of the most richest, like the most lucrative, like voice actor of all time, because he's been in so many movies.
Oh, Patrick Warburton?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
He's been Kronk. He was in Toy Story, of course. He was in a few like Disney Channel shows too.
Not to mention his run with Family Guy.
Yeah, Family Guy. Yeah,
and
that's just a big money maker right there.
Well, that and
that's his royalties right there.
Well, that and Rules of Engagement.
I was never a huge Rules of Engagement guy.
See, I liked it. I get why people didn't like it. I liked it though.
It was on CBS, right?
Yeah, I also like really weird like Chuck Lorre comedy.
Like my Chuck Lorre was definitely 2.5 Men. Before they killed off Charlie.
I mean, to be fair, he kind of destroyed himself on that one.
I mean, he did, but it was still funny with him on it.
Oh no, it was
not Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, I think the decision to make Kathy Bates be Charlie was hilarious. Because she showed up as Charlie a few times because they were like, "You died," and she was like, "Yeah," and they sent me to hell, and they figured to punish me, they'd make me a girl. But jokes on them.
Kathy Bates, man, she's
like that. That was a line in that movie or in that show, and I to this day die at it. And God, that's good writing.
I think other than Jackie Chan, I think Kathy Bates was like the highest paid actor/actress on Around the World in 80 Days, and she was only in the movie for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
She was the Queen of England. That's crazy.
She played
And she played Miss Hannigan on Annie.
Yep. Not to mention
My favorite Annie.
She played Molly Brown in Titanic.
She did.
Which honestly, enough people don't know who that lady is. No. Like, I don't think you understand. Molly Brown survived the Titanic sinking only to sail across the world and end up on another ship that sunk that she also survived.
That's crazy.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Don't catch no nigga on that shit. But anyway, leave it to white people.
No, that was definitely a what. That would definitely. Oh. That's a one and done. Oh, man. Oh, man.
I'm back.
There we go. Welcome back.
I'm sorry. She touched my mouse. She touched my mouse.
Did you accidentally end the, like, kick you out?
Yeah, she kicked me out. She was like, "It's Disney Plus time, Daddy." I was like, "I know. I'm trying." She's reaching for everything on my desk. I was like, "No, you can't eat that. That's a 9-volt battery."
I don't want to be here anymore, man.
Don't you touch it. I'll put you up. But yeah, she had a good day. We watched the USA versus England game today. That was a heart attack every 2 seconds. That was a slobber knocker.
So what happened?
So people thought that England was just going to come in and kill us. But they also forget that 75% of the USA players play for the Premier League. So they all play with each other. So it was more like an equal game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was really confused when my friend said that we drew, like we had a draw with like England in the World Cup, and I was like, no, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
Don't.
We almost scored a few times too. We had more shots on goal than England.
All right.
So the NFL memes put a meme up. He said, "Imagine England came and played American football versus the USA and tied. It's officially called soccer now." It's funny. It's officially soccer.
Can you imagine Adam Sheffield's like new news out of England? FIFA has agreed.
FIFA has agreed to change it to soccer. FISA. It's called FISA now. Bless you.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
It's called soccer now.
It's called soccer now. I can't.
But yeah, so being my guest on the show this week, Walter Huitens, you get to choose my top 10 list for next week.
Oh my god.
You're going to give me a topic that I have to research for 4 days. So before I can make a top 10 list with honorable mentions by Tuesday.
With honorable mentions. God, I don't have that. Why?
You got it.
Oh man.
Top 10 what?
All right. Top 10 James Bond films.
But I hate James Bond.
I know, that's what I'm doing. No,
I hate James Bond.
I'm not
you're gonna make me suffer through how many films to James Bond?
25. You're welcome.
Oh my
god, they're all good. Okay, at least 22 of them are good.
Oh, it's still too many digits.
No, top since we're in the World Cup era or World Cup time, top 10 wildest World Cup finishes.
Wildest World Cup finishes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like there's a YouTube video that'll help you out a lot.
Okay. Like one of like wild finishes, like in like who won the game or like what happened in the game.
All right, top 10 biggest upsets then.
Upsets, okay, I got you. Oh, I definitely got you on that. USA versus England, 2022, a tie.
No, I would say the biggest upset, at least so far, at least in this World Cup, has definitely been Saudi Arabia versus Argentina.
Is it though?
Is it not though?
I got Japan over Germany.
Okay.
So far. And then I think it's a tie. Like Japan and Germany and Argentina over. I mean Saudi Arabia over Argentina because Argentina don't have like the star power. All they have is Messi.
Yeah, but it's Messi.
But Germany has like some of the top players in Bundesliga and the Premier League on their team, and they still lost to Japanese players.
You know, that's a very fair point.
Not to mention, Germany blew out Brazil two World Cups ago, which was my favorite upset. Spoiler alert. You're not going to get this cord.
God.
You can have it. You can have the cord.
Yeah, I can't imagine being like, because I remember I saw that and I was like, "There's no way Messi lost to Saudi Arabia."
But the thing is, he scored most of the goals, but half of them were offside because he's Messi. He likes to have his hand offside or his leg offside or something like that.
Hey, like I play a lot of FIFA, and that's one of the things that always upsets me when I'm playing because they feel the need to go back and show you exactly where you fucked up.
They're like, yeah, where was he offside? They say his leg was like, his hand was like, oh, I'd be like,
I mean, it's like his pinky nail, man.
Like, really? You're gonna sway the game because of a pinky? You mean all I had to do was file my nails down and I would have been onside? This is crazy.
Oh.
I like hearing Americans who don't really know soccer say, "Why is there extra time? That's not fair." Like it's because they had the time of like injuries and stoppages in the actual time.
I don't think people understand the clock does not stop.
It does not stop.
It's like, let's say you had an injury for 20 minutes, you got 20 extra minutes of playing time in the game. Congratulations.
They're like, why do they pass back to the goalie so much? So they can have an extra offender going forward. That's how it's building from the back. I hate it when the USA had so many chances to score, they were just too scared to lose the ball. That's the thing. I
mean, I kind of get it.
I said, no, you had them open. You split their defense wide open. That was the kill.
Look, honestly, just the fact that we managed to draw with England, I think, is enough for us to be able to go home. And like even if we lose our next match, we had a draw with England. That's enough for us.
No, we have to win. We have to win against Iran to go on to the knockout stage. We have to win, which we probably will win.
So I don't know.
Iran, man, they ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing this year. Sure, they won against Wales, but anybody can win against Wales, except the U.S. It's okay.
Did you see that? Speaking of, did you see that they had a lot of protesters there for that game?
Mm-hmm. What's which one?
Iranian because Iran is still having all of those protests in the capital.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like that's something we definitely need to not forget is the fact that Iran is still protesting for equal rights or even just better humanitarian rights.
Yeah. I mean, what better way to do it than at the World Cup? At the world stage where everybody's watching.
Yeah.
At least outside of America. It's crazy that Canada, Mexico, and United States are in. That's crazy. And then we have Mexico I think has a win or two ties. They're going to play tomorrow against Argentina during the biggest game of the year, Michigan, Ohio State, which we only have Michigan fans on here. Hail to the victors.
Go blue.
Go blue. KJ's going to be wearing her stuff tomorrow.
It's
I'm
great.
going to be wearing my stuff.
it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine until 3:30 p.m. game day.
What you mean?
I don't know.
We're gonna win.
Here's the question: Is Ohio like what's Ohio's injury roster looking like? Because I know they had some injuries, but they usually play their injured players if they can play them against us.
Which is not good. But Ohio doesn't have the run game like that. They're gonna throw. He's gonna throw the ball. CJ Stroud's gonna throw that ball.
Well, I know CJ Stroud. The problem isn't whether or not CJ Stroud can throw the ball; it's whether our defenders can get to him before he throws the ball. And you got.
No. We don't have to get there. We're gonna get to him. We just need to make sure he messes up, and our cornerbacks can get the ball.
Here's the thing: you also have to remember: Ohio's quarterback, regardless of who it is, JT Barrett, CJ Stroud, whomever, is a running back against Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember it was either his last or second to last year, JT Barrett ran more yards than like our entire offense.
It's okay. It's all right though. It's a new day. It's a new day, Walter.
Oh, we can do it. It's gonna be bloody, but we can do it.
I'm gonna be shaking the entire game. I got my yellow flags ready. I got everything ready.
Let's say I got a 6-pack of Sam Adams Winter Lager.
Sam Adams.
It was the only one that sounded good, man. I don't want just really cheap, really bad beer. I want something that's kind of good.
Right. Speaking of kind of good, we're sharing a MAC championship with Toledo, but Toledo gets to go to the championship game. What sense does that make?
It doesn't.
That's dumb.
It doesn't.
It should be like a bracket then. Whoever wins. Actually, we have the best record. Actually, no, Ohio's the best record. So whoever wins between Toledo and Eastern gets to go against Ohio. That's just fair. That's just fair. I'm just saying. You know what it feels like? Like, yeah, I won the championship. Yeah, but who'd you play? Oh, I didn't have to play. The other team had to play the championship. Doesn't make any sense.
How well did you do? I did pretty well. So what happens now? I don't know. They'll tell me later.
No, we can't have that.
That's a shame. Good God Almighty.
It's just, I don't know. It's just Michigan sports are just,
I don't understand how. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that though.
You saw the rankings, right? You see the rankings. You see the numbers. We're 8-4. Toledo is 7-5. How are we? How are we? And they lost today. Toledo lost and we won today. So how do they get to go to Ford Field and fight for the MAC championship?
Because Toledo beat us.
That's dumb.
That's how it works.
No, it's not. Toledo lost to be 5-3. We won to be 5-3. And we have a better record outside the conference. They have a worse record. How does that make any sense?
I'll tell you what.
That's like if Ohio State beat us, but then Ohio State loses to like Illinois tomorrow, and then we win against some other team, and then we're at the same record. Or we lose and have the same record. We're the same record, but we won. Like, come on now.
I tell you what, call them and ask them. See what they say.
Where's MAC headquarters at? It's probably in Ohio. That's why they want Ohio versus Toledo. Fact check.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I thought you were looking it up. Isn't it in Ohio?
No, I'm not looking it up.
Oh, I thought you were fact checking.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't care that much.
God dang, Walter.
Look, would you rather me be honest or not?
MAC headquarters. I'm gonna look this up because I'm about to go in and spark controversy.
Please don't.
Little girl, you know this is a live wire. You can electrocute yourself.
Little girl.
Before she electrocutes herself on air, please stay safe. social distance, and be nice to each other.